All right. Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. Typically, we just ask if everyone can stay on mute. If you have any questions, we can post them into the chat. I'm always curious where everyone is zooming in from. My background is a little bit different. I'm actually doing some glamping here in Canada, so on the extra overtime here. Um, all right. So I am here in Victoria, Canada. I'm assuming most people are in Chicago right now. I know Dev's in Chicago at the project. Down in Bronzeville, Humboldt Park, Andrews in Humboldt Park. We got a couple other people. So usually we're gonna give people a couple minutes to get in, 2 to 3, 4 more minutes. Um, while they're doing that, I can kind of go over a couple bit of intros. I can let Dev do a little bit of intro. But yeah, my name's Jonathan. I'm the founder of Quality Builders. Our project manager of this project, Dev, is on site in Bronzeville. Yeah, if you don't mind, just put yourself on mute. If you got any questions, you can ask them in the chat. We'll give everyone a couple more minutes just to get in here really quick. But this has been a pretty cool project for us. It's obviously been one that's taken a little longer than we've liked. A lot of issues with permitting and electricians or electrical inspections and other things happening that Dev can touch on the project. Michael Glatz is in Barrington. Where's everyone else from? Where are you guys zooming in from? We got Barrington, Humboldt Park. I'm in Canada. Dev's in Bronzeville. But yeah, so we love putting these things together and kind of showing everyone what we're working on and helping people with any questions they might have with any zoning, permitting, renovation questions. We've slowly learned a ton about all these different things starting our business. So I'm going to kind of jump into things. But again, my name is Jonathan. I'm the founder of Quality Builders. So the purpose of our meetup is to really kind of educate and guide people through the renovation process, through the zoning process, through the permitting process. And just because I know personally when I was getting into the investment space, it was super challenging, and not having someone on my team that knew kind of the ins and outs of all these processes made it much, much more difficult. And so, yeah, we are always open to questions, always happy to help. One of the things I'm always promoting is actually giving back. And so, one of the things we try to do is we actually, I'm a board member of the Trevilian Boys and Girls Club. And so I put this up here every time uh, to, oh, actually, I don't have it up here, but I have it here. I'm sorry about that. But it's coming up here. But yeah, I'm a board member of the Trevilian Boys and Girls Club. And so at the end of or in October every year, they put together what they call the Youth of the Year, and basically a couple members from each different boys and girls club gets to gets to present on why they should be the Youth of the Year. So they actually do it in a group of about 200 people at first for the True Value Boys and Girls Club, and then they actually go to Navy Pier and they actually present in front of about 1,000 people. It's actually a pretty cool event. So if you have the ability to donate to them, we'd greatly appreciate it. The other thing we kind of like to do is just kind of give you guys just a brief rundown of some of the things that we're doing different at Quality Builders with some of our project management software. So at each one of our jobs, And each one of our proposals, we put together a proposal that typically looks something like this. So you'll see each different category broken down by trade, and different from a lot of contractors, we do charge for our proposals, which are 100% refundable. However, I've always kind of suggested that this at least gives you a very comparable price to any other bid you have. And if you share any other bid with us, we'll refund it completely. At the beginning of every other job too, we set up a full schedule, so you can see our schedules like something like this for all of our projects. And then our on-site team, like Dev and our site superintendent, put together daily logs of all of our projects, so that way anyone who's not super close to the project can stay up to date with what's going on the project. I'm going to let Dev introduce himself, and then I'm going to pull up the plans and kind of start walking you guys through this. If you guys have any questions again, please put them into the chat. I'm going to spotlight Dev really quick and let him introduce himself and kind of give you an overview of the project.
Hey everyone, thank you guys for joining us here. Appreciate you guys joining us on a Saturday. Uh, I'll just like switch the camera over to check the property out. This is a project here in Bronzeville. I think Jonathan briefly mentioned it is one of our more challenging projects, but definitely one of the more rewarding ones as well. Very historic mansion, super old. Once we walk in, you'll see the crown molding on the first floor. You'll see a lot of the old hardwood flooring. It's definitely got its charm that we're trying to preserve as much as we can, while trying to bring it to the modern standards with the appliances and the all the electrical and the mechanical and plumbing work. So yeah, once Jonathan gets the plan up, we'll take you inside and show you this cool project.
Yeah, Deb, to start really quick, can you talk a little bit about some of the earlier on challenges we had with the project now that everything's kind of going a little smoother? What were some of the biggest hurdles we had to go through to begin?
Right at the start of the project would definitely be permitting, like it is for most of these projects. Like a project this size, with the square footage and the dollar value, like permitting is always like much longer. So I think just to get started was a huge challenge here, and that was like one of the super early on challenges. And then as we progressed, I think electrical and drywall were two trades that give us a lot of like challenges out here. Electrical mainly because there we ran into like some inconsistencies with the electrical inspector here. So every inspector had their own separate comments. So like we would rectify the previous inspector's comments, but then the new inspector would have new comments. So we had like multiple runarounds with like the electrical inspection at this property, but now we're in the clear. So we're definitely grateful so we can like start drywalling the all the walls up. And that kind of leads me into like the other problem that we faced here, that was drywall. We'll show you more in detail when we get inside, but essentially, since this is an older property, and I don't know what the codes were back then, but essentially, all the walls are different thicknesses here. So, like, just demoing the walls and trying to get it to the same thickness so that all the receptacles and all the receptacle boxes are flush with the wall, which is what the electrical inspector wanted from us, was a huge challenge since like each wall was a different like depth, had different layers. So it was like a huge challenge for the demo team as well as the drywall team to try to tackle that. It took us a long time to figure it out. It took us a long, like it was super laborious. So that took a long time as well. And yeah, we'll show you what I'm exactly talking about in detail when we walk inside.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'm going to share my screen really quick so I can give you a highlight of the plans. And like I said, if you guys have any questions, throw them into the chat. Dev's going to walk inside. Um, can you guys see my screen now? You can write in the chat, give me a yes or a thumbs up or any type of indication. That'd be super helpful. Okay, beautiful. So yeah, as you can see, this is the existing structure. Existing structure was a 4-unit building with a basement. So basically they had the first floor where Dev's gonna be walking into, a second floor, and then the third floor was actually 2 units. Different from kind of how we have it laid out now. Is actually now you have a basement and a basement unit, a first floor, a second floor, and a third floor unit. So it's still staying 4 units. And I'm gonna give you the existing. Yeah, I'll walk through the the existing plans really quick, so you can see this is the basement layout. Devin's going to go in there, but here's the existing first floor layout. So you can see this is a full unit. This is this area here is really kind of where you'll see a lot of the old woodwork. Um, that's really beautiful. A really nice pocket door, I think, right in here. So that's the existing plan. I'm going to jump really quick to the proposed, so you can see that while Deb's walking through the first floor. So here, here's the first floor layout. So you can see kitchen is going to be in this main room. So Deb should be walking. Deb's going to start probably right into the front door right here where this arrow is on my screen. And then he'll take a right into the living room and then walk into the kitchen. And then maybe you can go into the first floor bathroom, Deb. So yeah, these are huge layouts. I think square footage wise, I believe they're close to like 1,500 square feet. Could be off. I don't know if you know any better, Dev, but let me spotlight him real quick. Any questions about the layout, let us know. But yeah, so you can see here. So it's 2.5 bath, 3 beds, and this may be the owner's unit as well. So that's TBD. The construction, it was a conventional construction loan as well, and yeah, that's all I have on the finance. Okay, let me highlight Deb really quick. Okay, there's Deb. You guys can all see Deb full screen, right? So yeah, so he's in the first floor. Walking in, if you walk to the right, you can kind of see this is kind of the main room. A lot of the ornamental woodwork is still intact there. And this was a project where the scope was the mechanical, electrical, plumbing, all new. And so there was what we call selective demo and selective trenching to get all the electrical and plumbing intact, which was, like Dev mentioned, very, very laborious and tedious. So this is a kitchen. You can see right there, there's a plumbing, big island in this area. Yeah, you can point there. Yeah, definitely I would echo Caesar's comment about the craft work. I wish we could claim to have done it all, but that was probably built in the early 1900s before we got there. So straight ahead, there's a bathroom that you can see that's prepped there. So tile work is done. We uniquely kind of split this into 2 separate phases once we had a couple issues with the electrical inspections. He's walking into one of the bedrooms now. I'll share my screen really quick just so I can give you guys a preview of exactly where he's at. So just to confirm for everyone, so he walked in here. Here was the kitchen where the island was prepped. Then he walked into this bathroom, and then he came into this bedroom. So this would be an ensuite bedroom with this bathroom. And then he'll walk into the back now really quick. Back to Dev. There we go. All right, so now he's at the back of the house. This is still the first floor unit. Like I mentioned, these are about 1,500 square feet. Yeah, so electrical before the rehab was all BX wiring. It was kind of like a mishmash of everything. So yeah, we ended up taking it all out. We upgraded to a 400 amp service upgrade, I believe, with 400 amp panels. Those are in the basement. We could try and go to the basement. I know there's actually not that great of reception down there, Dev. So let's go up first, just that way in case there's time that runs out, we can go up first. So while he's going up, I'm going to share my screen to show you guys what the second floor unit looks like. And that way, this is again its own full unit on the second floor. And I'm going to share my screen really quick while he's going up there. So total project cost for this one was between 450 and 550,000. And that's basically 600 square feet of total renovated area. So here is the second floor unit. So Deb's going to be walking up these stairs here, coming out this door, going into entryway of the second unit. When you walk in here, the living room is straight ahead of him. And again, this is another 3-bed, 2-bath unit. All the units have in-unit laundry. The kitchen in these units are kind of uniquely placed in the back corner because we didn't do a lot of demo of the actual walls here. We kind of had to get the architect kind of had to get creative at where we place the kitchens. The other cool part about this unit is here in this corner, which would be the northeast corner. That's kind of very cool, like brick area. So I'm gonna quickly jump over to Dev. He should be walking in the main door. Okay, there we go. So yeah, so he's walking in the front entrance. Straight ahead is the living room again. And if he goes left, he'll go back towards the kitchen. One of the bathrooms. So that bathroom's really cool, Dev, because we actually took that old marble and cut it up and used it on the floor. It was actually some old marble on the walls. So this is one of the most beautiful bathrooms in the entire property, in my opinion. We got I think it's 4x8 subway tile that goes up about 8 feet tall. So all the way around with a Schluter on top to finish it off. But yeah, the flooring in there is turned out really, really nice in my opinion. Um, I'm super happy with it, especially because you keep some of the old heritage of the building. And then when he goes right here, you go back towards the kitchen. You go right, yes. And then there's an in-unit washer dryer island for the kitchen. And then behind him, you have this kind of like old brick. I think it used to be a sunroom that you'll see back in there. Yeah. So other interesting thing about this property is the HVAC. So as you can see, we have actually a exposed ductwork that's called spiral ductwork. So it has a little bit more insulation than your typical ductwork that's softened and framed. The cost is a little bit more. I want to say it's about between 10 and 15, maybe even 20% higher than your typical ductwork. And so we used exposed ductwork on unit 2. We actually softened the ductwork and used typical standard ductwork on unit 3 and unit 1. In the basement, we actually ended up using ducted mini splits. And so that's a very cool system down in the basement. So I think we have 3 zones with 2 or 3 heads per zone. And so yeah, mini splits are interesting system, a little bit smarter, or a little bit more costly. However, when you have tight spaces and you already have some type of forced air, whether or not even forced air, but some type of heat, so radiant heat or electric raised boards, it gives a good look. I'm gonna share my plan real quick again, Deb, so that way that it can get reoriented. But to the left where Deb's at right now is the in-unit washer dryer. So I'll share my plan so you guys can see exactly where he's at before he moves again. Yeah, so he was just in this area here. He was taking a look right here, stack of washer dryer, and then he'll go back to the front of the house, which is facing west, and you'll see the kind of massive bedroom in the front with an ensuite bathroom, and then the bedroom also, there's another bedroom also in the front. So I'll share my screen again. Any other quick questions we can answer? We kept some of this woodwork, some of the stairwells here were really cool. We're keeping a lot of the original doors. You can see still we had the spiral ductwork everywhere in here. Project's timeline is going to be a little bit over a year, maybe even a little more, as we're trying to finish everything up. Like we touched on earlier, the inspections have been a little bit difficult. With any of these renovations where you're not fully gutting things, I've found that these are always almost going to be the inspections that take much, much longer. Is this the biggest project you've worked on? Maybe size-wise, because it's close to about 6,000 square feet. There's also some larger cost projects that we've worked on where we added a couple floors as well. Now we have a couple big projects coming up. One out in Elgin that's a renovation of a 5-unit loft area that's going to be pretty sizable as well. We pretty much work on anything that's, sub, or I'd call it like 1.5 to $2 million in size, and depending on the units. What is the property zone? That's a good question. I'm gonna quickly look it up while Dev's still walking through. That way I can show you guys. He's gonna be walking up to the 3rd floor now. And so I don't know how many of you guys have used the Chicago zoning map. It's actually pretty helpful and useful. I'll pull it up here for you guys while Dev's walking upstairs. So I'm gonna share my screen again really quick. Dev's gonna hang out at the entrance of the front of the building. So yeah, here's actually the City of Chicago zoning map. I just typed in City of Chicago zoning map, this is actually what pops up right away. You can come in here pretty easily, type in the address. I might actually do it while we pan back to Dev. And actually, I don't actually want to pull up the exact address of the property now that I'm thinking about it. But I'll look it up while I'm not sharing my screen. That way we keep this a little confidential for our client. That's existing 3rd floor. Third floor. Okay, so here's the 3rd floor. So similar layout again, although the kitchen here is more of a galley style. Again, this one is a little bit bigger, 4 bedrooms, 2 bath. All of the units have in-washer dryer. This unit in-washer dryer is here. When Dev walks in from right here, you'll see there's a really nice skylight that's right above him and here. And then if you walk straight ahead into the living room, again, kind of like we did, and then walk back towards the kitchen. So I'll share my screen really quick, or I'll let Dev spotlight Dev again. I'll look up this zoning while we're off of that. Dev, any other things that are coming to mind that you want to touch on really quick?
I think, like I had briefed earlier in the call, with the electrical and drywall issues. Unfortunately, now that we have drywall up, like I can't really show you the lathe and the layers that we had to go through, but yeah, essentially those were major sticking points.
Yeah, and so you guys can see Dev's screen. I looked up the zoning quickly there, and I just typed in the address, and it's a RT4 zoning, which allows you to build up to 4 units, I believe, based on the FAR, the floor to area ratio, and the size of the lot. If you guys ever do need any help with any zoning, we have a couple of architects on our team that are super amazing. The amount of detail they'll provide you for the zoning analysis is absolutely wonderful. And that's one of the biggest keys in my opinion is to start at the very beginning and make sure that the property you're purchasing can be buildable to what you want to build it. You guys going to salvage the hardwood floors or they're going to be replaced? Dev, I think we're replacing the majority of the flooring, correct? We're not keep salvaging it. Can you remind me?
Yep, for the second and third floor for sure. First floor we're trying more since there's a bigger like charm and like older material still there on the first floor. But yeah, the second and third floor would be replaced.
All right, so Dev's on the third floor. I'll jump back to the plans really quick. So you can maybe can you go back to the kitchen to your left, Dev? Yeah, so he's walking back to the kitchen now. Like I said, this is a little more unique galley kitchen to the right. Oh, that's a back bedroom back here. And then the bathroom is over there to your right. Not right there, that's a closet, but yeah, to the left, same thing. We actually use the same marble floor. You can see in there. And then going into that bathroom, we have a pocket door to the left, actually, that turned out really nice. Coming in right. No, actually one more left, but yeah, so there's a pocket door right there. Then we have the kind of galley kitchen. Those pocket doors are nice, and barn doors if you're limited on space. So it just will slide into the wall. There's a quick kind of easy frame that you build out. A little bit tricky to get installed, but once they're installed, they're pretty nice. So that's a kitchen right there. And then yeah, if we can just go to the front bedroom to look at that last bathroom, I think that'll be good, and we can wrap things up. So there's an electrical panel back there too on the right. So all the units have a electrical panel in the unit, which is the code nowadays. So you can see too in the ceiling, we soffited down all the ductwork in this area, so you can see that all that's ductwork as a furnace for this area. Yeah, so all the payments are done through the title company and escrow in this case because our client had a conventional renovation loan. So we get paid on draws over time. Um, all that's set up at the beginning. That's one of the things we also do is we set up a draw schedule at the very beginning of each project, meet with the lender, make sure we kind of have that one-on-one FaceTime so that we're all on the same page. And yeah, HVAC is all separate in each of the units. So each unit has its own separate forced air, like I mentioned before, on the first, second, and third floor. In the basement, we used a ducted mini split system and electrical baseboards. So yeah, this is the second bedroom, which is the master bedroom. I'll share my screen one more time really quick so that you guys can see where we're at again. So this is the bedroom. So Dev actually was right here. If you guys can see my highlighter again, he was walking in this bedroom, and now we're in this bedroom here, which is the southwest corner of the building. And yeah, so you can see we kept as many of these old doors, as much of the old trim as we could. To be completely honest, I think we could have done a better job of getting all of this salvaged in a better place and removing some of this stuff and putting it all in one place. I think that's how we do it over again, opposed to kind of working around it. What kind of work you did down in the basement? Yeah, of course. I'll quickly touch on it really quick. Deb, you can see if you can go down in the basement really quick. I know both of us are a little tight on time, so I'm going to open up the questions as well. If you have anything else, and I'll show you what the basement unit looks like right now while he's walking down there. We'll see if he gets reception or not. I can't make any promises because I know that it's a pretty stout brick building, and so it's pretty tough to get the perfect reception. So yeah, so you'll see here, this is the first floor unit. This is the basement unit. So uh, as it sits in the existing, the bug just climbed in on our campsite here. Here's an existing stairwell. This gets closed off. That's the stairwell Dev's gonna walk down. So this will all be common area now. So uh, this is also existing electrical panels. And then you can see again we have the kitchen in the back southeast corner. And maybe on the just yeah, the back east corner. Let's see if Dev can show us while he's down there. Yeah, it looks like it's working. So let's see. So he's down there now. Maybe we can also see the mini splits. So yeah, that's one of the bedrooms. Was the ceiling height sufficient? Yeah, the ceiling height was definitely sufficient. Having to dig down and dig out this biggest square footage would have been a huge undertaking. Um, yeah, ARV, really good question. I would have to double check with our client. I know the bank is super happy with it. There's no doubt that he's going to be setting the high point of the price for units in this area. I mean, we all know, or if you don't know, like Bronzeville is just a booming area, and a building like this, my suspicion is it's going to be in like the 1.5 uh 1.6 million dollar range. I'm completely guessing and haven't run any comps myself. I'm just kind of going off my experience from knowing the area a little bit. So yeah, so you can see we've done some of the drywall. If he goes into the back corner, which you can see, we actually want to see if we could see one of the mini split systems up in the air there. Oh yeah, so you can see a little blurry, but you can see that's one of the systems up in there. And so yeah, it's called a ducted mini split system, which I'd never even heard of before. I heard of the mini split system before where you have different zones, but this is actually a ducted mini split system. So you can see it has all these smaller ducted areas that the mini splits go off of. And like I said before, I believe there's 3 zones, and there's 4 or 5 ducts coming off of each mini split. All right, as Dev's kind of wrapping things up, he's head up out of the basement. Um, the drawing I had wasn't really super clear on the basement details, and that's really because we've had to improvise significantly on what we've been doing in the basement. The plan has changed quite a bit, and we've kind of had to figure out on the fly for a lot of this just because of the complication. So yeah, Dev's back in the front room. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna open it up for questions really quick, and then we're both a little tight on time, so I might have to hop off here somewhat soon. But yeah, if you have any questions, you can get a hold of us anytime. You can reach us by email, or we have some cool QR codes that you can follow us on Instagram or visit our website where you can set up a free consultation anytime. You can get a hold of me by phone or email. We're always happy to help anyone with any projects they have coming up, even if we're not a perfect fit for you guys. We can point you in the right direction to someone we know, like, and trust. And you know, we're of the abundance mindset here at Quality Builders, and so we know there's more than enough real estate and jobs out there for all of us. So whatever we can do to help you, want to be able to be a resource for you guys. Yeah, we work pretty much all over the Chicagoland area, roughly about 30 miles from the city center. A couple of the questions here. What the total cost covers. Yeah, so we didn't actually include the design services. That's actually something we're working on in the future. Biggest lessons learned from Kundai is really when you're breaking up these jobs into kind of phases, and you're not doing the total total drywall work, we've almost found that the drywall, when you're trenching these pipes, almost costs nearly as much as doing all the drywall work, and you just have a much cleaner slate. So our highly recommendation is to do all the drywall at one time, just because you'll see how expensive it can get. And so now we actually write in an allowance for any of these type of contracts where we're trenching electrical or the plumbing. Other thing too is just like clean, crisp plans. I'll be honest, the plans for this project were not as clean as they could be. And so, yeah, that's one of the things we're working on with some of the architects that we work with on a regular basis. It's just getting a plan set that we can work off of on a regular basis. Typically, the inspections, you put them in and they're finished in usually 2 to 3 weeks. Electrical has been the one that's taken the longest more recently, and that's almost been 3 to 4 weeks in some cases. But yeah, if you guys need any other help, please feel free to reach out. We're qualitybuilders.com, Quality Builders Inc. on Instagram, and really look forward to connecting with you all soon. And thank you for taking the time on your Saturday to join us, and look forward to connecting with you guys in the future. I believe it was a 400 amp service, Chan, with 4 100 amp panels. Wonderful. Good to see you again, brother. Hopefully we can team up on a project here in the future. All right, everyone, have a great Saturday, and we'll talk to y'all soon. Thank you, Dev, so much for being on site too. Take care, everyone.
Thank you guys.
All right, bye.